Hello, welcome back to Inaudible, the
Babel, inaudible, I believe you.
podcast that's impossible to listen with.
Impossible to soliloquy half the time as well.
It's impossibiliquy to soliloquy.
Oh,
They've all got an infamy.
Mamma mia!
Here we go again with an audible.
Oh, great. Good luck, everyone.
It's episode number 257.
That's a special number.
Is it a prime number? I've no idea, and I'm not going to find out.
No, don't ask me.
Sounds like it might be, because it's got a 7 at the end of it. Hey, does every number that ends in is every number that ends in a 7 a prime number, or are there...
You're mathsing me. I don't maths. Maths and me had a breakup years ago.
Oh. Maths short for Matthews?
Maths.
Yeah.
I was pronouncing the S, but I don't know how well it came through with my voice and nose and everything.
I was just asking if maths was short for Matthews.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you'd misheard and you were getting on to me because the Americans say it wrong.
No. Wasn't really implicit. Anyway, right. List of prime numbers.
It would be inaudible if we didn't explain our jokes. It's fine.
I wasn't gonna look it up, but that little period of awkwardness gave me a bit of time to type it into Google. Sorry, DuckDuckGo. 200. It is a prime number.
Oh dear.
267 isn't a prime number, so there we are. So not everything ending in 7 is. We've solved that mystery. So, in other news,
there's other news.
There's a bit of news. I've got my because I got fed up with trying to figure out. Alex is online, by the way. I got fed up with trying to figure out where my notes were, because they got mixed up in amongst themselves and also mixed up with notes from work and stuff as well. I actually bought
between your eyes and your mouth.
Oh, thank you. No, it's between my ites and my mouths.
That's it.
I bought myself a page-a-day diary for 2023, just so I could write on each day when the thing was relevant. So if I knew when I'd done a thing or when I made a note for a thing, I can actually find the note itself. So I'm going to the 10th of February, which is today, and it is
Alex will not be joining us. He's not feeling well.
Oh, Jesus, what a tease. Jesus, what a tease us. Well, in that case, it is my solemn and excited duty to inform you that the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance emulators are coming to Nintendo Switch Online.
Oh, what, like emulators or just a Nintendo version of it and they'll release what games they choose to release?
The second one.
Yeah, that's right.
But they come with all sorts of options, like whether you want it to look exactly like the old screen with like LCD pixels and everything, or whether you want it to look, whether you want to upscale it or not. There is an option to have it the original size, which seems kind of silly because you'd be squinting at this tiny little screen. But if you're a proper hipster that wants it exactly the same way, you can do that.
It's also good news to everyone who's already purchased virtual games on the DS and all those 3DS. You can pay for them all over again.
Yay! Hooray!
Do you get to I doubt you get to transfer them over.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
But it's also good news for those intelligent and handsome people who've bought Nintendo Switch Online for the Switch, because that's what it comes with.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, true. Well, I've got that for the moment, so.
As have I.
Yes.
But yeah, it's not in the first tranche of games that are being released, but they have included it in their little video of what's coming soon. And that's what I'm talking about, that I've only referred to using pronouns so far, is Pokemon trading card game for the Game Boy Color. Okay. It's going to be on Switch, so I will absolutely be playing that when it comes out. No
translation for Trading Card Game 2, though?
No, because because obviously the Japanese get a different promo video. Yeah. In the Japanese video, they've included it, and on the English language video, they haven't. So they're obviously not translating it, which is a bummer.
Yeah, we'll have to go back to that one day.
Yeah.
fan translation. I was gonna say though, if I don't need Nintendo Online to play Pokemon trading card game, I have the physical copy.
Yes, same.
But if I wanted to get real retro, I'd just boot up a Game Boy Color and stick it in there.
Now, would the ditto? But would the battery have run out by now in the in the cartridge?
That's a
question. Might have to change it.
Yeah.
I think they just wear away over time, don't they?
It just means I wouldn't be able to save it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just have to play it on a Game Boy Advanced SP that's constantly plugged in.
Yes. Oh yeah, like when you have an always on server. This is my Pokemon trading card game server.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there we are.
No, nice. I can still see like they'll only release like 10 games with it to start with, and then you'll have to wait a few months. They'll give you another game every now and then, like they do with. It's what they do with like the SNES, the Super Nintendo emulators. Wait, Super Nintendo is SNES. What's the other emulator?
NES?
Nintendo 64?
Yeah.
Even the emulators they give you on Nintendo Online doesn't have the greatest selection of games. So it doesn't give me too many hopes. I think I'd still probably just emulate it the naughty way.
Yeah, and that's the thing, that is just generally the better option. I feel like, I mean, don't get me wrong, an official one where they've purposefully made it work on the Switch is obviously going to look good.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that they're starting to do this. But you can do that on emulators too. You can upscale things, like we did it with even with Digimon World on the PS1. You can change the graphics settings so it just runs better and looks nicer.
Yeah.
And you can literally just pick any ROM and in it goes.
Yeah.
I feel like they should just have an emulator and get their if like illegal people can get their entire library of ROMs and put it on a website, then surely Nintendo are able to get their entire library of ROMs and put it on as well. But I wonder if they don't want to do that because they might feel like they're giving legitimacy to all the ROM people. I don't really know whether there's a bullshit business reason behind it or not, you know.
Then, rather than uploading your entire games category online, you upload it to the Nintendo Online.
That is what I meant, yeah.
And just, okay.
Yeah.
But then you just, you include it, just include every game you can with the emulators on Nintendo Online, and then I could see more people doing that because it saves them the hassle of having to go out, get the emulator, look for the ROM.
Yeah.
If they've already got Nintendo Online, then they'll just use that.
The other reason I wonder that they might have is that if they release a game officially on an emulator on the Switch, are they then expected to provide support for it if it goes wrong? So do they not want to like test every single game? And maybe that's why they don't do every single game. I'm not sure. But, yeah, it's silly, isn't it? The technology's there illicitly, and you feel like it would be so easy just to do licitly. Illicitly? What's the opposite of illicit?
Yeah. Unillicit?
Yeah. Because ill means
Illicit
like not. So that's why I said licit. There's all these... Yeah, because you have illiterate and literate, don't you? So is licit a word? Licit? Oh my god, licit is a word.
Oh.
I really like that. Because often I do this where you kind of like make up an opposite based on the word, but in English there isn't actually an opposite, it just happens to look like there might be. So I'm really pleased to discover that there actually is a word licit.
There is.
The first known use of licit in print is from 1483, whereas illicit shows up in print for the first time in 1506.
Oh, okay, there we go.
For some reason, illicit took off while licit just plodded along.
Oh.
When licit appears these days, it often modifies drugs or crops. The Latin word licitus, meaning lawful, is the root of the pair. Licitus itself is from licere, meaning to be permitted. There we are.
You got all Susie Dent for a second there.
I would absolutely own Dictionary Corner, let me tell you right now. I love a word. In other canoes...
King Canoes.
Yep. The results of the 2022 Comedy.co.uk awards are out. And
okay. Fair enough.
Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, the TV show, won Best New TV Sitcom and Comedy of the Year. Creators Becky Sloan and Joseph Pelling said, "Trophies are important to us, and we have 2 of them." Various other ones. Only other one I really cared about was Best TV Entertainment Show, which went to Taskmaster.
Oh, nice.
For series
good.
13 and 14.
Good. Nice
So,
to hear.
well done to them. Best TV panel show, Would I Lie to You?
That's a good show as well.
That's a good show. Yeah. Best returning TV sitcom was Ghosts. I'll be honest, I've tried to get into that because everyone says it's brilliant. I don't really think it's that good. Sorry, Ghosts.
What is it? Is it that thing that I see? Like, it's got the cast from Horrible Histories.
Yes,
some of them in it. Yeah,
okay, I know it was on Taskmaster.
I've seen thumbnails of it.
Yeah, it's but don't want to offend people because I really like
overrated in your opinion.
Yeah, I really like those guys. Obviously, I loved Horrible Histories, and I think they're very funny people. Well, you know, they're all involved in the writing and everything, but I just don't think it's that good.
Yeah, they're probably just better at history, I guess. Yeah.
I think
don't go out of your comfort zone.
I think what it is I'm old and tired. I'm 31 in less than a week, and
oh well, we'll get to that with me. I've got a little tidbit about age.
Oh, but yeah, I think having grown up with Blackadder, Red Dwarf, you know, Father Ted, all of the classics, I think to make successful popular comedy now, the culture of the country changes over time, obviously, and you have to make a different styles do well at different times, and I just don't think that the style that does well now is my sort of thing.
No, fair enough. Yeah, I haven't even attempted to watch it.
Without getting into the whole, like, there's so many things that I just don't. I just think it's not even. Like, I don't understand how people can find it funny or good. You know, like when it comes to music and stuff, there's certain genres of music where I was like, that is just, it's literally from a purely objective view, utter shite. There's no talent involved in making it. But I try not to be too harsh about it because everyone's got their own different tastes. But at the same time, holy shit, modern music is utter shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. It's just like the most. Sorry, it's the most simple bass line, boom, boom, like that, over and over again for 2.5 minutes, and no melody, and just a person, you know, like the old
speaking really, really fast.
Not even putting in the effort. No. You know, like the old like joke about the rap. You know, a man comes on and talks for a bit. That's how old people describe rap. You know.
Yeah.
That's literally what most modern rap is. It's just someone talking. There's no sort of like wittiness or cleverness in the lyrics or anything. Like, you know, your Eminems and what have you would at least have entertaining lyrics, or there are you know, some rap songs, like I've listened to some before that are not my type of music, but you listen to the lyrics and you're like, oh, that's really clever what they've said there, or it's, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, there's nothing good about this shit, and it really frustrates me. Anyway.
I guess I've just not followed anything modern. So I don't really watch many new TV shows. I don't listen to any new music. I kind of play the odd new game, but only because it's of franchises that I've already been playing for 20 odd years.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, on that, there was a trailer for the new Zelda game. I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either, because I thought I haven't finised the first game yet, so I better not watch the trailer.
Mine was just in my normal, like, spoiler-free territory. It's like, it's gonna be out in 2-3 months. I can just wait for it and play it and get better enjoyment out of it because I don't know what's coming.
Yeah, definitely.
That's
definitely better.
But I will say I'm looking forward to it. Definitely. The closer it gets to the time it's going to be out, it's like, ooh, Breath of the Wild 2's out soon. Ooh.
I saw. No, I better not say what I saw in case it's someone you're not going to be spoiled about. But yeah, it looks good, and I'm sure it will be.
I'm kind of hoping it's a bit like Majora's Mask was to Ocarina, where they've literally just taken all the same assets but made an entirely new game, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Or it's like, at the worst, I'd maybe like it to be a bit like Gold and Silver, or the after game of Gold and Silver, where you've got the old world you've explored in Breath of the Wild, but they've shown that time has progressed in some way.
Yeah.
I hope it isn't just like the old Breath of the Wild world, and then they've just added a new world on top of it. So change the old world as well, make the old world a bit different. Considering it's taken them a good 5 years or so to actually make the game, I'm hoping it would be.
Maybe it'll be like The Last Jedi in Star Wars, where it's set like 2 minutes after the first game.
Well, it's definitely a sequel to Breath of the Wild because it's got the same Link and Zelda. It's not like other games where it's generations later and this is a new generation Zelda. It's at least within their lifetime. It's not like it's been 5 generations in game and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got a lot more faith in the Zelda game team than I have in, say, the Pokemon game team.
Yeah, I think that's justified on evidence.
Yeah. And like it's taken, when was Breath of the Wild? 5+ years ago. So it's taken a good long while to make this sequel. So you'd hope they've put effort into it in that time and they've not just twiddled their thumbs for most of it.
I'd hope as well that they kind of look at, for example, Pokemon, and they see that they've got this constant churn to get games out, and they're like, let's actually spend 5 years to make this one.
Not do that. Yeah. It feels more love kind of feels like it gets put into the Zelda games.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, I do recommend, even if on your own time, you just play Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
because there's
I don't really have the time.
No, but if you can, even if without the main storyline, the game is just so like all these little bits of lore that you'll pick up as you like work your way through it, and there's just so many like theories about different things online, and I've gone down rabbit holes about it.
I watched a really good video about something Zelda, like it was about. Oh, was it about Ocarina of Time? I can't remember what it was now. This is a good story, isn't it?
I mean, Ocarina tends to be in a lot of theories just because that's kind of the timeline divergence game. That's the point that you split into the 3 new timelines.
There we are. I knew I'd downloaded it, so I'd have it in my folder. Ocarina of Time, a masterclass in subtext. Let me just search for that.
Oh.
There we are, by a channel called Good Blood.
Oh. Yeah, Good Blood.
Brr.
Yeah, what you talking? Good Blood?
But yeah, no, I watched that despite not being like a Zelda fanboy. I obviously know the plot of Ocarina of Time because I think everyone our age does who played games at any point. And it's just a really good video, really well produced, really well spoken about like how well made the game is.
Yeah.
Go on, you might be about to say what I was about to ask you about.
What, to go back to our age-related?
Yes.
Yeah, I've it's kind of swings and roundabouts in a way. It's a good thing and a bad thing. I found my first grey hair.
Oh my god.
Luckily, it was a nostril hair, so it's not like anyone could have ever seen it.
It's because of all the nostril stress you're under.
Yeah. Which that was enjoyable.
That's
So I take care. I try to take care of my nostril hairs just because obviously I've got piercings and piercings get caught and pull on. So I give them a pluck every now and then. And I was plucking them, and one of them was just pure white. It's like,
oh no. See,
I suppose I dye my top hair too much that it'd be hard to maybe notice.
Oh yeah, maybe if you stop dyeing your hair, all the grey will come through, and you'll be like a silver fox.
William Hartnell.
William Hartnell, yeah.
Just start streaking it back.
Well, yeah, streaking the hair back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Start streaking.
I'd hope for more of a William Hartnell than say a Bill Bailey, where you haven't even got hair on the top. It's just kind of around the back going down.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it's like I'd never really noticed much on Bill Bailey until I watched watch one of his videos, and they pointed. It was the first time they'd seen him, and they were like, "Oh, the hair," and how it was like when he does the epic shots and the lights behind him and the hair is kind of glowing. It's kind of like, oh Jesus, yeah.
See, I have noticed that because when you're watching him on the stage, you can kind of like defocus your eyes and not really look at his hair, and then you can see what he'd look like if he was bald.
Oh,
which is something I've done in my spare time.
There we go. Yeah, I can't say I've done
that. Yeah, I've got to say this is quite an early, early age for grey hair, I was going to say, but it's one nose hair, so I don't think it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
I have sometimes thought I've had hairs that looked kind of greyish, but because I've got fair hair, it can be hard to tell whether it's just a fair hair.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's the first sign I've noticed, so...
I think I'll go bald before I go grey if my my dad or granddad or anything to go by.
That's part of the reason I've always tried to keep long hair as well, because there's kind of more chance of it staying when I do get older.
Yeah. And unless it goes Bill Bailey. Would you go for the full Bailey, or would you, if you started to recede, would you keep it long, or would it just be like, nope, off it goes?
I think that would be the point. I might have to start looking into the Jimmy Carr.
Oh yeah, of course. We're talking about the hair transplant. We're not talking about looking into Jimmy Carr.
Well,
as long as it's not the Wayne Rooney.
Type, but I wouldn't say no.
Oh, fair enough.
Not a bad looking guy for who I'm guessing he's. Well, I mean, not bad looking because he's paid a lot of money to be not bad looking.
I was about to say, just don't put him near any open flames.
Yeah. don't do anything too frictionless. Just catch a light.
I've got to say I'm not a fan of work being done in general. I think
no.
in my opinion, people always look worse than if they just age naturally. Even if they start to look scraggy as they get older, I think that always, personally, everyone's different. Personally, I think it always looks better if you're old and scraggy and natural than like old and sheeny.
I guess it depends on how well the work turns out, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because like some people you can tell straight, like Joan Rivers-esque.
Yeah, definitely. Or
Simon Cowell. Bright. Oh yeah.
Simon Cowell looks an absolute state. This is now just the gossip column section.
I mean, we've held off 200 odd episodes before we got into like over the fence gossiping. So is that a sign that we're getting older, that we've started gossiping?
Oh, doesn't Simon Cowell look a state with all his work that's been done? Leaning on the garden fence with fag hanging out of her mouth.
Yeah.
Pinny, rolling pin.
Yeah. Just be us over the allotment fence.
Oh no! I see your. I see you had some slugs on your cabbages. We'll get some pellets for me.
Oh, I try and think of a pun here, but I can't. So.
You're a bit sluggish, you might say.
Oh, okay. I was a bit, yeah.
Yeah. You'll have to leaf that one about the lettuces and cabbages. Come in here, bold as brassicas, making puns.
You're getting all the puns before me. You're such a pest.
Yeah.
It's the most I could get.
It's a slime of things to come. No, it doesn't really work.
We'd better killer this bit now before.
Oh, yeah. Get on with
get too deep
with the gastro podcast.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, because I think once my hair thins too much, I'm just going to keep it ultra short. I've never, like, I always think you're just kidding yourself if you try and, like, comb it over and you see, I just think it looks silly. Personally, I think you just got to accept what's happening.
Glue a wig there.
Yeah, just a little. You know how, I don't know how much Shooting Stars you've watched, but like Georgie Dawes, when he was like, he'd come in a costume sometimes, Matt Lucas, and he'd have like sometimes a little hat stuck to his head.
A very itty bitty hat. Yeah.
Just put one of them on.
Tiniest. Yeah.
That'll cover it up. I'd be curious to know actually how old our listeners are. Just because it's just like we're talking about all this like, oh, we're over 30 now sort of talk. Like, are our listeners 35 and
like
laughing
16
at us?
16 years old or what?
Yeah, or are they young and
they're laughing at us because so they're either young and they're laughing at us because we're old, or they're old because they're laughing at us because we're young and we say we're old.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but
we can't win.
Seriously though, just the difference, even in 5 years, you do just get to a point in your life where suddenly you realize, yes, I am actually an adult now. Like, do you remember when I was saying like,
I had that moment.
I found a point where sometimes if I kneel on my knee, it just really hurts if I kneel on a certain place.
Oh, I get physical notes towards me being an adult. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I've aged to be an adult.
No.
Like I wouldn't say I've grown up. I've aged. I wouldn't say
yes,
I've grown
different.
Up.
Life's too short to grow up.
Technically an adult.
Yeah. Legally.
Legally, yeah.
As a pervert might say about someone. But yeah, like, because I wonder if there's younger people listening who would be like, oh, like these people talking like, but like, I don't know, because I know like 5, especially 10 years ago, I wouldn't have thought that by 30 I'd be thinking, looking back on how things have changed. Like it really is strange. I can't really put it into words. It is strange.
Just aged. Yeah. Time has passed.
Yeah.
I think that's why I just keep myself stuck in nostalgia.
Rose-tinted spectacles.
It's still the late 90s, early 2000s. Shut up.
Said I've been to the year 2000.
Oh.
Not much has changed because you've done it before, so it's the same.
Yeah. Nothing has changed. If anything, it's backwards.
Oh, pre 9/11.
Or, well, yeah, late 90s or early 2000s. Depends what end of the point you land.
Yeah. Oh, it was a good time. The IRA had stopped all their bombings. And it was like Al-Qaeda war on terror times. It was just that brief period in history where there was nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Now it's all we do.
Worry, yeah.
Worry, I've got wrinkles and slurry.
Sweet, yeah.
Slurry because I'm nervous and that affects your bowels.
Oh.
And wrinkles because I'm worried. So I'm frowning all the time.
Slurry.
Pardon?
Slurry, like Arcade, but I was trying to
slurry. Yeah. I can just say a slur at you.
Slurry.
So whilst we're talking about words and language, I had a thought during the week, and that's what's in my documentation.
I had a bit of a thought. I don't know if I've mentioned it before,
but I like how this is the segment where we each discuss the one thought we had in the past 7 days.
Yeah. But is fast forward still a term, or is it just skipping nowadays?
There's a question.
You don't fast forward anything anymore, do you? You just skip along the timeline bar.
It would be skip.
Our kids nowadays never going to know what fast forward was.
Because I think you're right. I'm sure people must just be saying skip now.
Yeah.
Skip ahead, skip forward, maybe.
We've gone past the days where you have to physically fast forward through something to get to the point you want. You just skip a second, 5 seconds, click somewhere else on the timeline bar. It's always a timeline bar nowadays.
Yeah. Well, you could say the same about rewind, even.
Yeah. Or maybe like digital boxes that record. Do you think they'd still have fast forward and rewind, or would that just be skip?
Oh, they're called something, aren't they? Is it like scan or something like that?
Oh,
they use different words, I'm sure.
Oh, so as the terminology fast forward and rewind started to die?
Oh no.
Oh.
Maybe it depends on the manufacturer. Maybe different manufacturers say different things in like instructions and things. And stuff and things.
But it's still, you can see it within like the next 10 years or so. But I'll turn around to Logan and say, I'll fast forward that. What?
Yeah.
It's like, skip ahead 5 seconds.
when you think about how, someone might react to that word, that phrase, having not heard it before, fast forward does sound really kind of quaint, actually, doesn't it? When you think about it, it sounds kind of old fashioned.
Go forward a little faster if you could, dear. Yeah. Rewind. Where did that? Well, yeah, because you're not gonna wind it anymore, are you? Shit. So yeah, eventually they are definitely. If not the next 10 years, the next like 20 years or so, I can see it just dead.
Well, we were saying in
the only way we'd know is because of like shows from this era that say it.
Yeah, Be Kind, Rewind.
Yeah. Sure.
Be hip. De-skip.
Yeah, what's the reverse of skip?
Skip backwards.
Yeah. You don't want to do that. You've got to watch where you're going. If you skip backwards, you walk into something.
Ha ha ha. I'm sure I've heard people say, like, roll back and things like that. But that's also like a tape thing, isn't it?
Like roll VT and stuff, yeah.
Replay? I don't know, there isn't really an opposite to skip, is it? Because skip kind of implies forward.
But then you can kind of skip back, can't you? You can with physically, but in terms of terminology, can you? Yeah.
Yeah. You're just skipping over things but backwards.
Yeah.
Because skip is like short for skip over, isn't it? Skip past.
Yeah.
Oh.
Back up. we got to try and coin a new phrase for like the opposite of skip. Unskip.
Pix. Just P-I-K-S.
Yeah. Just literally back, yeah.
So we were talking yesterday in Pokemon. At one point we mentioned about how when you pause the video and it like goes like jitters a little bit.
Yeah.
Like people won't know that either. The idea that you would pause something and it wouldn't just stop, it would go a bit like.
Oh yeah, like back in the days where you'd pause a video and you try to then trace the picture of what was on TV onto paper.
Because the other thing as well, like whenever you in modern times skip something, skip forward or whatever, must be just skip forward, skip backwards. Then now I said that, it's always a set amount, isn't it? Like 10 or 10 forwards, 10 backwards, or 30 forwards, 10 backwards, or whatever.
Yeah.
So that might be something that blows people's minds, is the fact that you had to just really carefully watch the screen and make sure you press play at the right time. You couldn't just skip forward 5 seconds. Oh, this is boring. Skip forward.
Second by second, or forward second by second.
Yeah.
This has just been the age podcast, hasn't it? The getting old podcast.
And people listening to it have aged 10 years.
Yeah. But if we're not complaining about something, we're getting nostalgic about other things.
Yeah.
Back in my day, we didn't have any of this skipping forwards and backwards. We had to sit there and literally rewind the fuck. It's like music tapes when the tape would, or just when a videotape would get jammed, and you'd have to like unscrew the video player, take out the tape, and then literally roll it back with something using the prongs. Never gonna happen again.
I was just thinking about like all the aspects of a like a video player, and like ejecting and putting the cassette in and everything. Like even that, like DVDs and Blu-rays aren't even a thing for most people anymore.
They're gonna start dying. Yeah.
Madness. I mean, you and I are on the same page here about having a physical copy of things, because the service can't ever shut down and DVDs aren't going to work anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like you'll always have a thing you can plug in, or an adapter if it's out of date or whatever. Yeah. So, and like same with things like the Switch and everything. That there's in 20 years' time, Switches won't be around and the service will have shut down, but someone will have jailbroken it, and worst comes to worst, you can play your cartridges on their homebrew OS.
Yeah.
It's like there's always going to be a way. I hate just this impermanence of not actually owning anything. All this, I always buy albums and singles and things. I've never used Spotify because I'm like, I want this music. I want to own it.
It's how I keep my TARDIS archives. I try to archive any TV show I can find that I liked, because one day it's not going to be on the internet.
Yeah. When the bombs fly.
Yeah, it does mean though that again in like the next 10 years or so, it's gonna probably come to the point where they don't even release physical copies.
Yeah, probably will be.
So we're gonna not the Switch, but in the next 2 generations of Nintendo console, I can see like cartridges being fizzled out.
Yeah, I reckon so as well. Yeah,
they'll just go straight for the purchase online.
And that's where the illicit community comes in again, isn't it? It's so silly.
Downloading things, ripping it to their own cartridges, and
you know, there's things you want to watch on HBO, Netflix, Amazon Prime, etc., Disney Plus, etc., etc. Like, if these people literally just said you can buy this episode for a couple of quid, and then you get a MP4 file that you can watch, I would do that. It's
But even then, you've got to fit that since the original thing has been released, the digital copy is now completely different. So Disney Plus will cut out scenes from Simpsons episodes.
Oh yeah.
That's not true. PC enough.
Boo.
So the only way to get a full episode of The Simpsons would be DVD or old VHS tape.
Yeah.
To get the original episode you once watched back in the 90s.
Oh. God damn. I hate the way tech is going. It's just I keep up to date on all the tech news and I read everything, and it's just like the whole point of the internet and the web of being this way to just have access and connect everything is as most things in life, just ruined by big companies who just want to control everything, and governments get in on the act as well because they want to control everything. It's just ridiculous. I would actually there was something I wanted to mention a while ago about the fact that I think the EU have just recently passed a law saying that hang on, I think I made a note of it here. Yeah, here we are. So you know how there's like Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, Signal, iMessage, all of these. Basically, they passed a law saying people should be able to choose what app they want to use, and that should be able to connect to any other message any other app. Instead of, and because this is a great example of what I hate about modern tech, is the fact that everything's its own little thing owned by a massive company. And if you want to keep in touch with everyone, you've got to install 5 different apps because everyone's on a different one. Whereas,
so having like a universal talking app would be the way for
or like some kind of standard. Because like if you've got, you know, a phone and you just dial someone's number, you don't need to be both using the same phone provider. It just uses a thing that talks to each other. And this is kind of the point of the internet, is that everyone could do whatever they wanted because it all uses the same protocol, but it's just been, as I said, ruined by big companies. So you should be able to say, like, you know, so I would use Signal because that's encrypted and all great and doesn't have government backdoors in it. So, and if I should be able to send a message to a Facebook group chat from Signal. It shouldn't be like you have to use our platform, because that's just not democratic.
It just needs the universal messaging system, basically.
Exactly. Well, it's kind of like it's kind of like podcast as well. Like you can use any podcast app you want, and you know a person hosts a podcast on an RSS feed, and it doesn't matter whether you're using Pocket Casts, Apple Music, anything. It just finds that podcast and brings it into whatever you're using, because it's your choice what app you want to use. It's not up to the person making the thing. But again, you've got big companies ruining it. People like Audible paying people a lot of money, and I'm not having to go with the people accepting the money because it's their job and they want to make a living. But like Steve Coogan,
if you got offered money, you wouldn't turn it down.
To be honest, I would.
Oh, okay.
I'm incredibly principled, and I was like this. I'd be like, this is not the point of a podcast.
Well, depends on how much money, I guess.
Or it would be an exclusivity thing, perhaps. Like it would come out on their thing a month before, something like that.
Okay.
You got things like, you know, the Alan Partridge podcast that Steve Coogan does is only available on Audible, so you've got to sign up to that service and pay them money if you want to listen to it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just get it illegally. That's how it works.
Yeah.
It's just, which is, again, it's just not how the system should work. The internet, tech, communication, anything. My little rant. I am a donor to the Electronic Frontier Foundation. I feel very strongly about these sorts of things. I've got on my high horse a couple of times this episode, haven't I? I mean, maybe it's not as high as I think it is. Maybe it's just a horse.
Well, if you've got another whore, lock it in the basement with the other ones.
Oh yes, the high whores.
The high whores.
That's how you spike the drinks.
Yeah. Get them more what's the word? Susceptible?
Yeah. Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. Moving swiftly on. So my one thought during the week was about
Your wand.
my one thought.
I thought you said wand.
Oh no.
Phoenix Ever.
I haven't been thinking about my wand or about Harry's Potter.
Oh, although that's out as well. But I think as we've mentioned, I'm not paying for that game.
No, it's I think the only games I ever pay that much for are Pokemon games.
Yeah, and I'd say maybe Zelda for me as well. I'm interested. I'd love to play it, but not for 50 quid.
No.
One day, maybe.
Wand day.
Wand day. But today isn't Wand day, unfortunately.
No, today is inaudible.
In all table. I'm in all of your tables.
Oh no! You're the spirit of the table. Possible episode title.
You're saying I'm in all of the table there, so I'm inside all of it.
Yeah.
I was saying I'm just in all of it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All inspiring. Or is it awful?
Table inspiring. Tableful?
Ooh.
So English, as a foreign language, because obviously I'm on my Duolingo. And German, of course, has, like many languages, has masculine, feminine, and neuter nouns and articles and things. Die, das, der, das, der, die, das, whatever. And I wondered.
Luckily, Japanese doesn't have that. They just have different ones for how polite you want to be.
But it made me think, and I would love to hear from someone watching whose English isn't their first language, because I want to know, do English learners, like when you're first in school and you learn about how the fact English doesn't have any gender, when I say English doesn't have any genders, obviously we say like he, she, they, but I mean in terms of the nouns, like a table isn't masculine, it's just a table.
Yeah. It's an it.
Yeah. What's people's reaction? Do all the kids in the class go like, whoa, that's amazing? Or do they just get really confused? Is it awesome or confusing? Because you're used to genders, aren't you, if you've learned another language?
I was going to say, maybe it would be, I guess it's the same as when you learn that there are genders when you've grown up without it, and you're just kind of like, oh, that's a bit weird.
But we're going from something less complicated to more complicated.
Okay.
So
maybe maybe they just get confused, like how I did with politeness in Japanese.
But that's what I want to hear from the people.
Yeah.
Because it's I'm just really curious about it. And also, what do they like or dislike about English, especially compared to their own language? I would just love to know these things from people.
Well, yeah, no, legitimately leave a comment or write in or whatever.
Yeah, contact at invisibletower.net.
Yep.
And this is something. Is it confusing how we leave things like "so" dangling at the end of sentences? Like you can go and learn English, then you might talk to someone. Say you go to university in England or whatever, or you talk to someone online who's English, and they might say something like, "Oh, I could do this, but if I do that, this will happen." So. And then just shrug and not finish the sentence.
Okay, yeah. You just assume people know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, you just miss out an entire half of the sentence.
Is that an English speaking thing, or is that just a British thing?
I think it's.
Do you think they do that in America as well, or?
Kristian here from the future. Now, neither of us noticed this at the time, but Ozzy literally just did the thing we were talking about when he finished a sentence with "or" instead of actually finishing the sentence, which was a great demonstration. I don't know if they do that particular thing. They do something similar. Riley does this as well, because Riley's like a closet American.
Yeah.
Where they'll have, what's the words I want to use? Like, they'll leave out the noun. So they'll say, "We'll try this for a few." A few what? What?
Okay, I get you.
Which is not really a British English thing, but people do it more now, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's so much that we just communicate with shrugs and inference, which but other languages might have it too, but because we're not fluent in those languages, we just don't know that. I would love to hear from people.
We just love to hear from people in general. We don't get any comments.
To be honest, if someone has thoughts and words about English, I want them on the podcast. We'll talk to them.
Oh, okay.
Talk to them about English because I'm fascinated by languages, and I would really want this. I want to talk to someone about English from their perspective.
Well, if you want a spot on a Z list podcast, then
we're lower than that.
Yeah. What's lower than Z?
Is it like in Excel when it goes to AA?
Oh, okay. I just didn't know if we were just in we've passed all the letters, we're just into punctuation and stuff now. Question mark?
We're in cell ZZ65356 or whatever the final cell of Excel is.
Yeah. Shit.
65,000 or something, I remember that much. Wow. So cool. Yes. Right. Excellent. Wonderful. So if you speak English as a foreign language, please answer those questions. You're welcome. Thanks. I mean, thanks. You're welcome. Thanks. You say you're welcome. Thanks. You're welcome. Thanks.
And if you do speak English as a second language, how much of this did you understand? Because we barely speak it as a first language.
Dialects. That's the Trickingtons, isn't it?
Well, who's Lex, and why do you want him to die?
No, I want to ring him up. Dialects.
Okay. Dial X for murder.
Operator, give me X. Just some yolk comes out of the phone. And that's no yolk. Ha ha ha.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. You'd have to shell out for a more expensive phone if you want that functionality. Yeah, that's it.
I double checked my future name still hasn't been taken on YouTube, and it hasn't. That's good.
Good. What's your timeline for that?
Well, I think Monday I might be meeting up with Ray. So I might try and do a stream with him focusing on the stuff that me and him have kind of done over the channels and shit. If I can get together with Alex, then I'd want to do a stream with him, but that's not a certainty. Otherwise, then I guess the next stream we do would include the announcement. Yeah. And then at the end of that stream would be when I change it all, basically.
Nice. Oh, is it like a live circumcision? No, live. What's the word?
Would I be able to change it as I'm going live? Or
I don't know. I have no idea.
So I guess within the next month and a half or so, probably.
Right.
If even that.
The death of TS Reactions is more drawn out than the 10th Doctor's.
Yeah.
Because you've gone to visit all of your past companions as well. Or at least you're trying to.
I literally trying to, yeah. I guess Alex is like the modern day version of Rose, because Tennant couldn't go back, so he had to go oh shit, am I gonna have to go back in time? Considering back then we had Rocky friendship anyway, didn't we?
Yeah, Rocky was great. It's a shame what happened to him.
Yeah.
You know,
all
the knives, yeah. All the
Oh, okay. I just thought he'd all that running up and down the stairs just did his hips in after.
But that's it. He got to the top of the steps, didn't he? And he tripped. Yeah. And there was a cutlerers convention going on in the convention centre, just opposite the steps. And they dropped some knives. And then there was some council workers redoing some of the tarmac.
The knives landed perfectly pointing upwards.
In the wet concrete tarmac.
Yeah.
And which solidified very quickly. They had a big hairdryer on it.
It was a hot day.
Yeah.
It's America, isn't it?
And then, poor old Rocky just, yeah. His last words were, "It's all right, I know what I'm doing." He didn't. So, our regards to his family.
Well, they've got someone else to take over it now, haven't they? They're doing remakes.
Oh, are they?
I don't. I think they're still making Rocky films, but it's not Rocky anymore. Rocky's just like the trainer who trains the new guy. I don't know.
He angered a wizard who turned him into a shoe. Now he's just a trainer.
Yeah.
Well, from my end, nothing else going on. I saw famous Pokemon VGC player, Wolfey Glick, world champion a few years ago. I think he's a great player. People kind of don't like him because he has a reputation for using stall teams and things like perish trap teams and things like that. But honestly, to do that, you have to be so good because you need to predict everything like 100% all the time.
And I mean, it's a legitimate strategy.
Exactly. People say that sort of thing in
stop getting pissy because you couldn't do it.
People say that sort of thing in snooker as well, like, oh, he's just plays really negatively, trying to like protect his lead. They're like, but it's part of the game. He's trying to win. Like, what's the problem? Yeah, but yeah, he's setting up a big tournament with like an unofficial Pokemon tournament with Twitch affiliates and partners. So he said, if you're interested, let me know. I was like, hello. So on the off chance that he wants people who stream to very small audiences involved, you never know. You gotta put your foot in the door somehow, haven't you? Like a sort of Jehovah's Witness, but no, they don't do that. What am I thinking of? Bailiffs. That's the one.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Jehovah's bailiff.
Yeah. I'm here to collect for God.
Yeah.
It just sucks your soul up like the Ghostbusters.
I mean, ain't that just what churches do anyway? Take your money.
Yeah, and your soul.
You can't have a soul if you've gone to one of those places.
Serious theological note here, as an atheist. Jesus, even if you believe what's written in the Bible, Jesus wasn't going around saying, you need to follow this strict hierarchy of bishops and priests in order to get into heaven. Jesus was going around saying, be nice to everyone.
Yeah.
You don't need a church to do that. Yeah, it is a bit of a strange thing, isn't it? A lot of them do charity stuff, which I guess is nice.
Makes up for all the kids they diddled.
Exactly. Surprise, surprise, as an atheist, not a huge fan of organised religion.
No.
I think if people want to follow a religion that has teachings that are essentially be nice, I can't see a problem with that.
Yeah.
It's just I don't really see the need to organise it in such a way, but there we are.
Believe what you want, just don't give a shit if other people don't believe it.
Yes.
That's my...
There was a thing in the news a while ago about some... we call them Mormons. They're members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Oh, what Mormon did you go from?
Mormon.
Less Mon? Or would it be like less Mon, enough Mon, more Mon?
And the three bears.
Yeah.
Or are they Goldilockses?
Goldilocks would be the tamer, wouldn't she?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. There's a great author I like called Jasper Fforde. He does a series of books called Nursery Crime, which is set in this kind of alternate Reading where nursery rhyme characters are kind of a real thing, kind of like the God thing that we've mentioned before, where just belief makes them exist, sort of thing.
Or what's that show where it's
American
like all
Gods?
It's like a show that everyone was into.
Oh.
And it's like fairy tale characters, but
I think
they're in their own fairy tale world. Alex one.
I know the one you mean. I don't know what it's called. Yeah. Someone will know at home. Let us know.
See, if Alex was fucking here. Bonuses and likes.
Yeah. But yeah, in these books, it's not really explained kind of why there are nursery rhyme characters everywhere. It's just the world that exists. But they're crime stories, right? So the first one is investigating the death of local businessman Aloysius van Humperdinck, Humpty Dumpty. He was a big egg who was found cracked at the bottom of a wall. The big question is, did he fall or was he pushed? And the second one is investigating, it's a missing persons case. Goldilocks has gone missing. The last time she was seen was after breaking and entering the Three Bears home in the woods. And the big question is, like the the detective with all his demons, like the classic sort of detective main character. He can't get this idea out of his head. Why were the 3 porridges at different temperatures? Why were Mummy and Daddy Bear sleeping in different beds? It's like there's this whole like mystery going on behind it.
Just picking apart the little details of the fairy tales, yeah.
But it's so good. It's like they're genuinely good crime stories as well. But they're very silly, very funny. He is like a Pratchett in my opinion. I'd give him that high honor. He's a very, very good author. Anyway, we've gone on long enough. Did you have anything else?
No.
I've gone long enough, I should say. This did devolve into the.
Life. Yeah, I've gone on long enough.
This did devolve into the. I'm old.
I don't like the world nowadays.
Yeah.
I'm gonna complain.
I'm mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take it anymore. I'm not gonna do anything about it. I'm just gonna.
And back in my day, things were better.
I'm just gonna chew my mate's ear off about it.
Yeah.
It's like when we're in the old people's home. This is the point you've switched your hearing aid off.
Yeah. I've tuned into like classic FM or something.
Yeah. By this point, Classic FM is playing like Busted and McFly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Because that's 500 years in the future.
I'll be honest, I don't listen to the radio, so I don't listen to it now, so...
Well, I hope you don't listen to it now. You should be concentrating on the podcast.
I mean, I'm only semi-concentrating on the podcast. I have been refreshing YouTube a couple of times at the same time, looking for videos to watch after.
Always looking forward.
I've also got a separate tab open, uploading all my archives to Rumble, ready for the big switch over.
Lovely. Let's get ready to rumble.
They've already started getting views and likes.
Oh,
I've already got 8 likes on the insert new name here Rumble channel.
Are you gonna be like you're gonna be an early trailblazer of Rumble?
Yeah.
You'll be the Charlie is so cool like of Rumble.
What's my highest viewed video so far? I've got 18 views on Kamen Rider O's episode 2.
Oh.
And it was only posted yesterday.
Get down the bank and take out a loan for that Maserati.
I mean, you can monetize the videos on Rumble, actually.
Oh.
My current earnings are $0 and 00.
Oh. What's that in pounds?
The exchange rate.
Minus. Rate. Yeah. Go on with this government.
We've started complaining again.
Yeah, so we got Pokemon Civ 5, Stardew Valley, and stuff going up on Kristian 444.
Okay, yeah. We're doing the channel roundup.
The EU4 Provence game is ongoing on Invisible Tower. We got an Audible on this channel, of course. Misty Trees is there. It'll be back one day.
You forgiven EU4 after your last bout of rage quitting.
Yeah, because I'm doing such a difficult campaign. Before I make difficult decisions, I'm backing up the save, so I could easily just like revert back to.
Okay.
But I'm still.
That's what I did once or twice with the fake Civ on Switch, because it auto saves every couple of turns. So if I just had a really disastrous turn, it's like, all right, I'll go back a couple of turns. I don't mind reliving another turn if I have to. I'm still annoyed at the situation. France is still way too powerful for that time period, and I have no idea how I'm going to achieve my goals. But I do kind of. I think it's part of the reason I love the game is like it's a puzzle to unpick and figure out. Okay. So that's kind of why I keep coming back to it, even when it frustrates me. I enjoy it more than it frustrates me. It's not like I play it raging all the time. I was going to say, see if there's any mods that can just get rid of France and keep all the rest. Yeah. Unfortunately, you got to play Iron Man if you want achievements and such. You can still back up. You still make a copy of the save, but you can't modify it. That was an idea I did have. One day with Civ, we should just all get like the same country, but with different leaders through mods. Like, Civil War. Civil War, yeah. There are a load of good Civ mods, actually. Civilization mods for Civ 5. I did have like a flick through when we first sort of got into it and stuff. It's what made me think. Yeah, maybe we'll try some modifications. We want to shake it up a bit. Might be an idea.
Or
I'd be more interested if we shook it up a bit, to be fair.
there was that Lek mod that we were going to play and then changed our mind because we weren't sure if it was going to be stable or not. But I'd be up for giving that a go. That's like a rebalancing mod, essentially.
Okay. Well, I mean, if it's literally just me, you, and Tilly, less for the computer to handle, so it should hopefully...
Yeah.
Like, we won't get, like, lags and shit. Like...
yeah. Because it was literally, like, when it was me... Oh, did we... I think, yeah, it was me, Tilly, and Rob. It was like ran fine, like it has been running fine for you, Tilly, and me.
But then whenever me or Riley would join,
yeah, like even like before you got like roped into it, it was like, you know, sometimes Riley would join and then it would struggle a bit, and then like when there was 5 of us,
yeah.
It was a bit mad. At least we have the trick of I just have to not touch anything on the first turn, which I haven't been doing because I've forgotten about, to be honest. I've just remembered it now.
Oh.
But that shows that you don't need to do it when there's 3 people because I've just been forgetting. Yeah. Anyway, that's enough.
Luckily.
Prevaricating around the proverbials.
Bollocking on.
Bollock around the trees.
Your channels for the meantime. I'm still TS Reactions.
Yes.
That will be changing in the next month or so.
And remember, if you speak English as a foreign language, we want to hear from you. If you've got if you've got a good voice, we literally want to hear from you. So
and a microphone so that we can hear from you.
That might be a good shout. Yes. Yeah, that would be kind of crucial. But that's all for now. Join us next week. Yep, join us on twitch.tv/Invisible Tower, where we're currently broadcasting this live.
Yeah.
So you can hear this every Friday on that channel. Yes. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we tend to do Stardew Valley and Civ 5, or Stardev and Skiv, as I call them. Sometimes one, sometimes the other, sometimes both, sometimes no.
Multiplayer game.
Multiplayer, yes.
Well, multiplayer games that isn't just me and you.
Yes. Thursday at the moment.
I don't count.
Thursday. Well, you said you don't do maths, so you don't count.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thursdays at the moment we're doing Pokemon, so I'm finishing up the story and Ozzy's kind of along for the ride, so we're doing multiplayer there. We battle each other from time to time as well.
You finished the main story.
I have
now
literally just finished it, yes.
Yeah.
Good point. And then obviously we'll be back next Friday for the podcast, weather permitting. Long outro as usual. So
yeah.
Fuck, do you know what I've forgotten to do again? I've forgotten to play the music.
Oh shit! Where we go? We're not outroing then. Oh no, we have to keep going for another hour.
We have to keep. It's just very slowly getting there.
Yeah, here we go.
I tell you what, we could just leave it here and start the actual outro section slightly earlier than it normally starts. It doesn't really matter.
Oh. But then, can we just talk about starting the outro for long enough that it would get to that point anyway?
We could do that. Conversely, we could speak for too long so that we actually miss the part where it gets to the outro, and then we miss it entirely. And then the music finishes before we have a chance to finish the podcast, which is what's happened now. Speak to you next time. Bye.
Bye.